Yo, what's up, family? I'm Danielle,
And what's up, family? It is Dani.B.
and this is the Culture Effect Podcast. We bring you content from the culture that affects you. Peace, peace. What's good with it, family?
What's good?
How
What's
you,
up, good, bro? How you doing
how you
today?
doing? I'm good. I'm good. I'm blessed. You know what I'm saying? Another day, magnificent day on this planet Earth. Thanking God, the Creator, for giving us another chance to express our opinions and our thoughts. You
Definitely.
know what I mean?
Definitely. I agree.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Yeah. So, what you do over the weekend? Or what have you done so far?
Just
Heard you
spend
guys is
time.
out shooting today.
You said what?
Heard you guys out shooting today.
Man, yeah, we was out shooting, trying to do a little something, something. Sisters,
Okay, I can dig it. I can dig
trying to
it.
trying to join hands and do stuff together. That's it's all about family and spending time. So whatever me and my sisters could do together, that's what we're gonna do. So
Right.
yeah, so we had a whole 8 hour course.
That's what's up. That's what's up. You got to learn how to defend yourself,
Yeah,
given the situations we having in the country right now. But first,
exactly.
before we get started, I'd like to say rest in peace to Earl DMX Simmons, one of the legends of hip hop, man. Unfortunately, passed away over the week. And DMX came in, man, as a force. It wasn't nobody like DMX, man. And he had started getting healthy at the end. That's my thing. Like, I seen him getting better, and I thought he was gonna be cool, but he ultimately succumbed to a heart attack. It's a very sad situation, man. And for me, like DMX, kind of like brought hip hop back,
Yeah.
because Pac had died. You know what I'm saying? Biggie had died, and then X came in strong. They had Puffy with the shiny suit, so it was like a party thing. And
Yeah.
then DMX came in rough, rugged, and raw, and kind of like changed the landscape of hip hop at that time. And he was very spiritual cat, and I always was in tune with him because of that. Because he was close to God and always praying, and so that really touched me, and I felt him. You know what I'm saying? Like, I'm a kind of guy. I gotta feel the rapper. I gotta feel you, feel what you're saying, not just hear what you're saying. But
Right.
it's a tragic loss.
Definitely to the community, it is a real tragic loss. And, you just wish that social media wouldn't taint things that they don't know about, and that's with anybody's death. When somebody dies and they bring it out there to social media, it's just like listening to social media or TMZ, like you throwing dirt on people's name, and it's just ridiculous. So, condolences to him. Prayers for his family, his
Absolutely,
fiance, his children, and let them heal. Let them be in peace, because all the other stuff is don't even matter. He's gone.
absolutely. Yeah. Once again, man. Rest in peace to Earl Simmons,
Rest in
DMX,
peace.
man, the dog.
Yep.
All right. So now you had a topic you want to talk about. Let's go ahead and get into that topic.
Yeah, we was gonna talk about something else, but then I said, you know what, we're gonna change it up because it's been a lot of things that's going on in the world right now. And the one thing we're gonna talk about is Dante Wright, who was murdered uh, by a 26-year veteran, okay, with the police department. So, want to get into that. And I watched the video several times. I think everybody has probably watched that video several times, and I can get it. You know, he tried to get back in the car. Okay, but he tried to get back in the car. He wasn't armed though. So I guess that's where I have the issue. Even with a taser or whatever, like let him go. You can catch. You got his license plate. I don't see the harm in just letting it go. Catch him later. Arrest him down the street somewhere else. But to be in that kind of confrontational moment, everybody's adrenaline is going, and this is how mistakes are made. As she said, it was a mistake. Um, I don't, and I can't sit back and say, yes, this was a mistake. Because for 26 years, and then the fact that you were training another officer while
Right.
you were doing this traffic stop,
Yeah.
and you already know which side of your body is your taser and your gun. So unfortunately, I can't believe that. I'm sorry. Like, she's a training officer, so you know this. You've been taught too many times, and you're teaching others. So with that being said, she knew the difference between a gun and a taser. She knows the feel in her hand between a gun and a taser. And even when you watch the video, she didn't just pull out and automatically eject. It was for a cool little second. So I'm sorry, you didn't see the color? You didn't see that this was different? You know what I'm saying? So I'm sorry, your
Right.
safety is on while it's in your holster until you pull it out. You have to release that safety. So I'm confused at how did you release the safety not knowing it wasn't a taser?
Yeah.
So that is my
That's real.
stance on that. The fact that they gave her this little manslaughter too doesn't sit well with me, because if it was somebody
Is that
black,
what they charging her with? Manslaughter, not murder?
manslaughter too.
Okay.
Okay. I'm sorry, if it was a black officer, anybody of a black, I'm pretty sure they would have been charged with murder one.
Right.
So that's where I have an issue. It's like we give slaps on the hand, and it's not okay. It's not
No,
okay.
it's not. It's
It's like
not.
you need to do the same procedures as you would do for somebody is black that you're gonna do for somebody that's white. It shouldn't matter. They both behind the shield. So it really don't matter. But the fact that you do it lets us know we're still in an injustice system. And it's not geared to help black people at all. It's geared to kill us.
Definitely.
So what is
Definitely.
your take on it?
Now, as far as that particular incident, um, that one kind of hit home for me because I remember back in like 2001, me and my homeboy was driving. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
I was driving. My homeboy was in the passenger seat, and so the cops got behind us. And I mean, he followed me for like 2 or 3 miles. You know, I made sure that I did everything correct. You know, I followed all traffic and safety rules, used my blinker, all that, right? You know what I'm saying? Didn't go to speed limit, but this fool was still behind me. I'm like, dang, what is he trying to do? And so eventually I made a right turn into my neighborhood and he hit the lights. And so when this fool come to my car, I'm like, yo, what's the reason that you pulled me over? I'm like, I got my license, my registration, all that. Here you go. Now, what's the reason? And this fool said, because you have an air freshener hanging from your rear view. So that same incident, that same thing happened with this incident. And so it kind of, like I say, hit home because I've been through that before. You know what I'm saying? And so with that being said, like, but I didn't give him no problems. I didn't get back in the car because when I was coming up, you know, I was always taught, you know, which is a shame that we have to be taught this as young black males,
Mm-hmm.
always comply. Because if you don't comply, you can lose your life. You know what I'm saying? And we're not afforded the same rules as the white person is or the white man is. So if the white man doesn't comply, he don't have to comply. He could pull out a knife. He could shoot 5 or 6 people. He going to jail alive. We're not. You know what I'm saying? So it's sad to say that even though we know we're not in the wrong, we know we haven't did anything wrong, we still have to comply. We can't, you know, I try to teach my sons this all the time, man. No matter what, it's just gonna take a little small part of your day to just do what they say, go ahead and go through the motions and go ahead and get it over with, you know what I'm saying, in order to not get your life taken away. And so with that situation, it's horrible. And then like she said, she thought she was grabbing a taser. Come on, bro. Like you said, it feels totally different. I actually seen a video of a cop on YouTube, and he was showing the difference between the gun and the taser. And he said there's no way she could have mistaken that.
Mm-mm.
There's no way she could have, because it feels different. It's
Right.
on different sides. You know what I'm saying? It's on different sides of your body or whatnot.
Mm-hmm.
So I
And
don't
you've been
understand
taught
how
that.
that happened. But you know, Caucasian people get away with a lot. You know what I'm saying? The white privilege. You know what I'm saying? That's what it is. But we have to be um, clear of that. We have to, as black people, we need to know that and understand that things that we do are not going to be looked at as the same as the other race, and we have to do all we can to get to adjust that, rather to adjust it. But yeah,
And
that was a
that kind
sad
of
situation.
and that kind of sucks, right? So we say we gotta be cognizance to that, right? So we got to really pay attention and know that we are different. That's the problem. And this is why we still live in a racism world, a racist world, because I should not have to teach my children that, hey, your skin is different than the other. When the cops pull you over, make sure you do exactly as they tell you to do, because we may die in that instance. When if you're white, you're not gonna die. You know what I'm saying? So it's cold and calculated as it is. That's wrong. I
No,
shouldn't
it's
have
definitely
to.
wrong.
We just had another one, so let's go to the next one. Just days after Dante Wright, may he rest in peace. Just all
Rest in peace,
respects to
man.
his family and
Rest in
everybody.
peace.
Like we can't. I really pray that he gets justice. I really, really pray that she goes down for this, because that was totally wrong. But then 2 days later, you had another traffic stop where it was two white men in a traffic stop.
I seen that.
That one white guy stabbed a North Texas police officer on the freeway in the neck,
Yeah,
and still killed a woman, and yet he still breathes. So I'm so confused at how a black young male can resist arrest unarmed and get back in his vehicle but still die, when a white man stabbed a police officer in his neck and murdered a woman, but he still lives.
they have the complexion for the connection, man. It's sad, but it's life. You know what I'm saying? And we live in it. And a lot of other races don't understand what we go through. You know what I mean? Like you say, it's horrible that we have to teach our kids, or our mothers and fathers have to teach us how to act a certain way in order to survive, in order to make it
Right.
home. It's a travesty, and like we really need to do something about it. You know what I'm saying? Protesting is one thing, but I really think it's time for us to get into these politics and try to change these laws, because that's the only way that it's going to change. That if these people, these officers start being held accountable for what they do, you know what I'm saying? Not just a slap on the wrist. When they start going to jail for life, then they'll stop doing it. You know what I mean?
Because
And
they're
that's just my
protected by that
opinion.
badge.
Yeah, they're protected by the law. You know what I'm saying? And it's crazy when the law is supposed to protect us as
Yep.
citizens. You know what I mean? And it's a sad thing. And it's a lot of other incidents, like you know, with the George Floyd, his trial is going on right now.
Right.
But we could take it back to Emmett Till, man. George Stinney Jr. It was a 14-year-old guy named George Stinney Jr. Back in the 1950s, if I'm not mistaken, and he was murdered through the courts. They sentenced him to death at 14 years old and killed him for something he didn't even do. You know what I'm
Mm.
saying? And so we've been dealing with this all since we came to this continent. You know what I mean? Since Africans came to this continent, we was never put here to advance. You know what I'm saying? And
Right.
so with that being said, it's just, I don't know, man. It's a travesty.
It definitely is. I've been following this other case. Longtime police officer. I know a lot of people probably have forgot about her, but Carol Horn.
Yeah, Carol Horn.
Back in 2006, her and her partner, who her partner was white, um, got a phone call. I can't remember the full story of why they got the phone call regarding this guy, but all in all, the white police officer was able to handcuff this guy and put him in handcuffs, yet also put him in a chokehold at the same time. So Carol knew that that was wrong. So she got on top of this cop and like really tried to get him off. Like, what you're doing is wrong. You know what I'm saying? With every might that she had. Okay. So thank God the guy did not die. Okay.
She
However,
ended up getting fired though, right?
she ended up getting fired after they did their investigation, and they told her that she was wrong for striking another cop and stopping the arrest of a suspect. So she tried to fight it and was just like, that's not what happened. Even the guy testified for her, and she was still fired. She was 3 days away from a full pension. She lost her pension. She basically lost everything. So she's been fighting this throughout the court system this whole time. But what started to trigger things was that same cop back in 2009 got in some trouble again.
Okay.
But he got in some trouble with 4 Black teens where he rammed their heads into the police car. Okay. So that started some other stuff. But it really didn't hit the fan until George Floyd.
Yeah.
Okay. So once that happens, yeah, they start really looking at a lot of stuff. So she was able to go back into this court system again. And now, as of, I think this was just days ago, or maybe last week, everything was vindicated. She was able to recoup all her pay. They took it all the way back to 2006, 15 years of pay. She's able to get back. She's able to get back a full pension that she lost.
As she deserves, though. You know what I mean?
And she deserves. You know what I'm saying? It's like she was one of the few that did not stand by and allow a cop to assault somebody that is handcuffed. You are handcuffed. There is no reason for the force of what you're doing, the choke holds and all that stuff. He's handcuffed. What is he going to do? So that was her stance on it. Like, I don't want this man to die because you got some white racist cop that's just want to, I'm big and I'm bad and I can do what I want to do. And that's what he did. Even though he still says, hey, I still stand by my word. She attacked me. But, once you say one lie and keep doing that lie, you believe in every lie that you've told already. So that's how it goes.
Absolutely. Now, let me ask you this question, sis. I want to get your opinion on this about complying. Now, in all the cases, not all the cases, but in a lot of cases, as such as George Floyd, even in Dante Wright's case, they didn't comply. Not saying that because they didn't comply, they didn't deserve to die. Not saying that they deserve to die. But do you think they would have lived if they would have complied? Now, I want to get your answer or your opinion on that in 1 second. We'll be back. We'll see y'all on the other side.
On track, now we gon' way up. W's as easy as a layup. Working late, stay up. Counting all the way up. Counting blessings, yeah, you know we pray up. Way up. On track, now we gon' way up. Now we gon' way up. Now we going. On track, now we gon' way up. Now we gon' way up. Now we going. Keep the same energy. Work on being better when I'm 70.
What's up, gang? We back. This is the Culture Effect Podcast with Danielle and Dani.B. Now we're talking about some serious situations today. We're talking about police brutality and how it affects, African Americans, the most.
Right.
And so the question I posed to you before we went to break was, what do you think about our young Black brothers or sisters not complying and then dying? You know what I'm saying? Because they didn't comply, possibly they caused their own deaths in certain situations. What do you think about that? What's your opinion?
I don't know, because at the end of the day, even when you comply, you can die. So, let's go to George Floyd. We don't really know the whole situation. We only know what news media and outlets have let out. But once George Floyd was in handcuffs, at that point, there shouldn't have been nothing else. You should have picked him up and put him in a vehicle. However,
they
not
tried
what
to
happened.
put him in the vehicle.
No. They didn't put him in a vehicle.
They did. He forced his way back out.
That's not the video I saw.
Yeah, he was sitting in the back seat. He was sitting in the back seat and he was telling them he couldn't breathe. He got to get out the car. He didn't want to go to jail. That's the video I saw. I mean, we need to probably revisit it so you can refresh your memory, but he definitely was sitting in the back of the police car. And from what I seen, he didn't comply. Now, not saying that man should have died. That's not what I'm trying to put out.
So I'm sorry. I don't care if my mouth is dirty, filthy. I'm cussing you out. I'm kicking the back seat of the vehicle.
Right.
I'm doing all these things to make you see me. It still don't deserve you taking my life.
No, I don't. You're right.
Because you didn't
You're
see
right.
white people do the same kicking and screaming, hitting their head against the thing,
But you
doing all kind of stuff to destroy the property of a police car, but they're not dead. So with that being said, I still feel like, hey, I don't care if I was in the car acting all ignorant and whatever, didn't want to comply. He said he couldn't breathe while he was in a vehicle, as you say. So I'm confused at why he still ended up on the ground. And then you have 9 minutes of you putting pressure on his neck.
Right.
So I don't
I
know.
agree.
When it comes
Like
to
let me elaborate real quick. Go ahead. Go ahead. You go ahead. Go ahead.
When it comes to Dante, okay, yes, he resisted. He didn't comply. He didn't allow them to cuff him. I get it. But as a young Black man, this happens because you don't know what they're going to do to you these days. And
so why not comply?
You said what?
If we know as young Black men or women that we don't have the same rights as white people, why do we still choose to act a certain way, knowing we have the chance of dying, knowing that they're going to look at us totally different than that white boy kicking the window? Why don't we just say, okay, here go my license, sir, or don't even say sir, but here go my license, and know the law. Know the law. Why are you pulling me over? Okay, in section B17 of this law says you're not allowed to ask me for my name unless I've committed a crime, so on and so forth. Why don't we get more intelligent so when we do interact with the police, we can be able to speak our mind instead of getting ignorant and yelling, running away? That's my thing, right? So like, let me get this understood. I got the we can't breathe shirt on right now, right? So in no way, form or fashion that I'm going for the police, but I will play devil's advocate, and I will say that in my opinion, now the question is, what if they would have complied? Now the question is, if they would have complied, would they have died? Like you said, a lot of us have died and we complied, right? Now that's different. That's totally different. I can understand that. That's a whole different set of situations, but we have to be held accountable and responsible for our own actions as human beings and adults. You know what I'm saying? So we can't keep on taking up and saying, well, he got killed, the police killed him, but that man did a whole bunch of other things that caused his death that if he wouldn't have did, 9 times out of 10, he would have been alive. Now, you got to put your feet.
So what are the other things? Because you said he did other things. So besides resist and get back in the car, what else did he do?
I'm just saying, wrestling with the police, just being aggressive in general. Not saying that they were right for killing him. I'm going to keep on saying that and putting it out. No matter what he did, he shouldn't have died on any of those cases. They shouldn't have died. But also, I'm just saying that, yo, come on, we got to hold ourselves accountable.
So besides the resisting, okay, and not complying of that part, he shouldn't have been pulled over in the first place. When you think about it, if you think about it, they were still in the wrong, because as the chief of police said, is they have already been lenient on people with expired tags because they know you can't go register your vehicle at this moment. So number one, they were not lenient. They pulled him over for expired tags, then talked about the air freshener thing in his damn window. Then you want to go on to other things. And then what irritates my spirit is that the fact, here you go with social media. Once again, they come out with all the negative. Well, he had a warrant for his arrest. Okay. Let's explain of how he got that warrant. Because if they didn't send the information to the wrong address, he would have got the warrant. He would have been able to appear in court the correct way. So what happened with that and how he obtained and got that warrant was wrong. And that should be back on the court system fault. It's not his fault.
It's his fault that he didn't comply.
We're not talking about the compliant part. We're talking about even if they didn't even pull him over in the first place, because they shouldn't have. So he would have still been alive if the cops didn't see it as, oh, that's a black man, so we're going to pull him over with expired tags. Even though I bet you if it was somebody white that had expired tags, you wouldn't have pulled him over. You would have been like, oh, okay, we got to be lenient at this time, so let him go. But because he was black is the reason why he got pulled over. We're not going to play the game and think because, oh, it was just because of his tags. No. It was because he was black and expired tags.
You're right. You're totally right. Like I say, it's stacked up against us, man. And I think us as Black people, knowing that it's stacked up against us, we need to do whatever we can to make the fucking playing level even, the playing field even, because we know these things. We know that they gonna look at us and pull us up because we Black. So we need to be ready. We need to have our minds sharp. We need to know the laws, and we need to be able to talk to them people and tell them, yo, man, I ain't did nothing wrong. But if you need to check my license, you need to check my registration, go ahead. You know what I'm saying? Instead of saying, no, man, you ain't checking nothing. No, I ain't did nothing. Like, I mean, at some point we got to get better, bro. You know what I'm saying? At some point we have to get better with how we interact with these people. Because as we can see, we're not winning. We're not winning. So why do we keep doing the things that we do? Is my question to the Black people. See, I can sit here and talk about what they do wrong all the time, but they've been doing that shit for hundreds of years. So I'm not too much concerned about what they doing wrong. I'm concerned about what our people are doing wrong and how can we better ourselves to not get killed or not get put away for hundreds of years or 50 years because of our actions. You know what I'm saying? Because we didn't take time out to think and have critical thinking. Okay, if I make this move, then he gonna make that move. If I make this move, then he gonna make that move. So we gotta have critical thinking. And I think that a lot of us fall short of that. And so we put ourselves in, or we get put in these situations. We don't put ourselves in these situations. We get put in these situations and we don't know how to critically think our way out of it.
Right.
And that's my, thing with my people.
I get it.
You know what I mean? And so we gotta definitely do better. It's a lot more to talk about on this subject. This is just the beginning. And we just wanted to touch bases really, really quick to let people know that we are affected by what's going on in these streets, man, when it comes to police brutality.
Definitely.
We want to say rest in peace to all the fallen people, man. George Floyd, all the way back to Emmett Till and Tamir Rice, all of them, everybody. You know what I'm saying? We really want to just give a prayer.
I mean, we can go, the list goes on this long,
on and on.
But nobody should still die unarmed.
No, never.
If you are unarmed, there should be no reason why you should be dead.
That's absolutely the truth, right?
It's other ways to de-escalate a situation if it's an unarmed person. And unfortunately, we die way more than a white person in this world. So
yeah, those are facts. That's facts. That's big facts, man. And we got to do something to change it because we can't just keep marching and sitting around and talking about it. We got to really get out there and put our feet to the ground and get into these politics, or teach our kids how to do it, or get them into politics. Something has to change, man. But I'm gonna tell everybody like this, man. I love y'all. We love y'all. Want y'all be safe out there. Be good. This is the Culture Gang. You feel me? Hit us up on Instagram, YouTube, Facebook. You know what I'm saying? At the Culture Effect Podcast. Gang, we out of here, people.